It's time for the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Powerful and liberating business strategies you can start in 5 minutes or less. Now, here's your host, Dean Soto.
Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of freedomin5minutes.com and prosulum.com. And we're here again with another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode. Today's topic is this: the power of giving before you get. That and more coming up. Oh, good morning. Walking around with Luna Meister. Luna, run. You got it, girl. Go get it. Walking around with the Luna Meister. She's happy. She's sniffing around. We are good to go, as usual, on this beautiful day. So, yeah, interesting times we're living in, yeah? Very interesting times. So I believe that's like an old Muslim saying, like, may you live in interesting time. It might be a nationalistic type saying from the Middle East, but yeah, we're definitely at that point, which is cool. Honestly, for me, I know that some people are getting hammered, some people are doing well. No matter what, it's funny, I came to a realization that no matter what, you're going to be in a situation. You're either going to be in a good situation or a bad situation. It's all there to help you to learn. Of course, when you're in the harder situations, it's much, much harder to learn, and it's much, much harder to see, why it's happening. But yeah, it's there's a lot that you can learn from these situations. But anyway, so which brings me to this point. So one of the things that had always fascinated me when it came to a lot of the technology that we have right now in regards to marketing is that what you could do, say a decade ago or a little bit longer than that, used to cost thousands and thousands of dollars to do, or it took a lot of your time to do, right? The neat thing is that now that's no longer an issue. Now that's no longer it's no longer a constraint, because with the technology that you have right now, you can automate a lot of stuff that would have cost thousands of dollars before for less than $100 per month. And of course, as you scale, it's going to become more expensive. But one of the things that always I was like, man, now that would be cool. No one ever does stuff like this, right? One of the things was giving gifts. So I am an introvert by nature, and I am rather selfish. And so this all started back when Infusionsoft was about 2014, and I got this course from a guy named Jermaine Griggs, and he's one of my mentors. I bought a couple of different things from him. He's awesome, absolutely amazing at what he's able to do. And I went and started giving. I started his course, and he started showing me all of the things that he was doing with marketing automation. Everything from gathering data to sending text messages, sending phone messages, sending gifts in the mail. It was absolutely insane, all of the things that he was able to do. And I was like, man, I really want to do that. I want to be able to systemize all of that. And the partners that I had at the time, they were like, oh, that's cool. It's all right. It's okay. Yeah, but I'm like, no, there's something to this. There's something to this, especially in this online world, this online realm. Nobody does this. And I know I've done a couple podcasts on this, but it's something where nobody sends things in the mail anymore, really. No, nothing heartfelt or whatever. And especially at a time like this, nobody does that, right? And so I honed this skill to be able to connect a lot of different things. There's different softwares that you can use out there that will allow you to send gifts in the mail, allow you to send a whole bunch of different things. And so it was interesting when we first started doing this. We were doing it for a thing called Online Empire Academy. And people would pay $697 to learn how to sell online. And they would, right after they bought, they would actually get a call on the phone, and it would be a recording that would say, "Hey, this is Dean Soto with the Online Empire Academy. Thank you so much for getting, the Online Empire Academy, yada, yada, yada." And it'd say, it would be a recording. And so it was cool because if it was a voice recorder, if it was a voicemail message, it would just say, "Hey, just want to give you a call. Thank you so much for buying, yada, yada, yada." But if it was, if they actually picked up, it would say, "Hey, yeah, I know this is a recording, but I really wanted to let you know that what you're doing is really important to us," and yada, yada, yada. So giving in that respect. And then it went from giving in that respect to giving in that respect to if they went through and they ended up buying more and more things from us, they would get things in the mail like cookies and brownies. They get cards in the mail. They get a whole bunch of different things like that in the mail. They get text messages, all that other stuff. And it built a huge community around it. And it wasn't like a community in where they were talking with one another, but it was where they absolutely loved us, right? I would get so many messages saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that." And so I just kept on having that habit of I want to build in things like that, where in the mail they are getting something, or like in the mail or whatever, they're getting something that shows just how valuable they are to us. That they're not just another customer. They're not just giving us money and not getting value in return and no appreciation. I want everybody who works with us to get something. And that habit has been so cool because it's probably the best marketing tool that we've ever used in our business. I can't remember a time where we would not get referrals and referrals and referrals and referrals and referrals. And these referrals would come as a result, not always directly. Sometimes it was like, "Hey, thank you so much for the gift," and then it would go to, "Hey, I'm going to introduce you to someone." But a lot of the times it was simply because the person had gotten stuff over time, and that we were always top of mind, right? So if you figure, if you profited off of one individual, say $1,000, I personally would not have any problem, spending between $100 to $200, so 10 to 20%, giving back to that person, right? Because obviously I need some of that profit to pay staff, whatever, and the margin's going to end up being probably close to 30 or 40% at the end of the day, hopefully. But a big portion of that is 10 to 20% back to the individual, to give experiences, to give gifts, to give a whole bunch of different things. And it's cool because I've noticed that because of doing this, along with having an amazing, partner who does a lot of selling as well on the initial one, but because of doing this, we see a lot of people refer us, or they stick with us for a lot longer, right? Where they would have stuck around for, say, 6 months, 3 months, whatever it might be, they're sticking around for a year, right? So that $100 spent on them, let's say it's just $100 spent on them, turns into a lot more money over time, right? And so this is where it's like, if the amount that you give in the beginning, during the process, because that's the other thing is tooling your business to where you can give time as well. So all of my clients know that they can call me, they can ask for whatever they need, and I'm usually going to be available. I'm going to give them times where we can talk and chat and everything like that, right? When you're able to give, there is so much value seen. There's so much value that's shown because of that you're able to hold on to customers and not only but grow your business. I'm all over the place. I'm looking at the bees. There's bees all over right here, little bumblebees pollinating flowers. Looking at you're able to do so much with your business, so much growth, retaining, and so on, that if you were just spending on, because it's funny, I had a call with this, I'm not going to name the name, but it's a software on retaining your customers, and I don't remember how I got into the call. I just wanted to see what it was and stuff. But their way of retaining customers is through amazing algorithms and it'll call them before it's like right about time to cancel and send a nice message or whatever, which that's great. Don't get me wrong. Hey, that stuff's great. But what if they get a gift right before that message in the mail? That's quite a different thing, right? They get a gift right before, they cancel or potentially cancel. They get a gift. What about if they get a something in the mail, even if they did cancel over the next year or so? I've had customers who have reactivated, right? Don't talk about that, right? Nobody talks about that. What if they got gifts like that in the mail where they end up getting reactivated? They were a customer once, and if they left just because they were, they had other things and they had other plans and plans changed. Trust me, with this whole coronavirus thing, a lot of plans changed, right? I have had customers who were like, oh yeah, it's not needed and so on and so forth. Thanks so much. To wham, we need you. So plans change, right? Things change. But if you're the one that's top of mind, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? They're going to come to you. They're going to look at you because you gave them value. You gave them attention, right? So what are you doing to give? What are you doing to give? Giving is hard. It totally is. Whether it's your time or whether it's your money, whatever it might be, giving's tough. And I get it. I totally get it. But what are you doing right now that puts you in a position to give more than you receive so that you can then give more and then receive more and then give more and receive more and give more, to where it's just constantly giving to your client so that you can receive more? What systems do you have in place for that? I want you to seriously consider seriously consider developing a system, if you don't have it, to give more than all of your competitors are giving. So this is Dean Soto, Freedom in 5 Minutes. Go check out freedomin5minutes.com. Also, go check out prosulum.com, prosulum.com. And I will see you in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode.
Thanks for listening to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Now, head over to www.freedomin5minutes.com and register for our free masterclass and discover how to start systemizing and automating your entire business 5 minutes at a time. We'll see you next time on the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast.